Namaskar and good evening. My name is Shubhashish Mukherjee, and many of you in the Chicagoland area might be knowing me, but I am privileged here today to perform a short performance of tabla. And then I will also host tonight's concert with two very fine artists for tonight. But first, let me present a small Lucknow Gharana presentation of short compositions. And I'll play two types of compositions. One is known as Gat, and the other type of composition I'll be playing is known as Padans. A little bit of these about these two types of compositions. Guts are primarily very fine rhythmic compositions that are primarily having uh, mostly bowls that are very dynamic in nature, and they are bound together in many different ways. Primarily, it is known as a Dumuki Gat. That's what I'm going to play, which has got two entries into the Gat, and I'll demonstrate when I play that. And then the other form of composition that I'm be playing are known as Padans. And these are primarily compositions that are adapted from Pakhawaj, which are bowls from an instrument that is very old and traditional in Indian classical music, Pakhawaj. And you will see that the very deep and heavy aspect of the Pakhawaj bowls like Tetekata Gadighanu, Trekathet Gharan, these type of bowls are incorporated into tabla. So uh, let me present first a few guts and then Purans. Dha dhan, dha kit tak dha dhan, dha kit tak dha dha kit tak dha, tit dhenna dhunna, tre dhre te tere kit tak ta, tere kit dha kit, dherena kit tere kit tak ta, tere kit dha kit, dherena kit tere kit tak ta, tere kit dha kit, dherena kit tere kit tak ta, tere kit ta ta, ta kit tak ta ta, ta kit tak ta ta, kit tak ta, tit dhenna dhunna, tre dhre te tere kit tak ta, tere kit dha kit, dherena kit tere kit tak ta, tere kit dha kit. Next cut. Dhenna kit dhetta kit ta kit dha. Dhige tit tit katta kit dha din kit nagin nagin ta kit katta git tit katta gadi din dha tu. Katta git tit katta gadi din dha tu. Katta git tit katta gadi din tenna. Kit dhetta kit ta kit ta. Kit tit katta kit dha din kit nagin nagin ta kit ta kit katta git tit katta gadi din dha tu. Good evening. Now, let me introduce the next artist of tonight. His name is Leifer, a very well-known name in the Chicagoland area, a good friend of mine, and also a fantastic musician. Leifer.
Good evening.
Hey, Lion, how are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Good to talk to you, and we are looking forward to your concert, and I think everyone is looking forward to your concert. Before we jump into it, I thought it will be a good idea to just have a brief conversation with you about your music and your journey in the Hindustani music and all of that. Let me ask you this, because I know I've been playing with you for a while since I've been in the Chicagoland area. But it is interesting to know, I think for everyone to know rather, is how did you get attracted to Hindustani classical music?
So this is already quite some time back, of course, but I was a music student in New York and had friends in many walks of life. And I was somewhat of an amateur chess player, not a very good one, but I got to playing chess with a Bengali fellow. And
what was his name? Do you remember his name?
His name was Vaskar Nandi.
Oh.
And he was a man of very wide interests. He knew a lot of jazz musicians. He loved Western classical music. Mm-hmm. And he and his girlfriend at the time had a place near where I was going to school, and I would drop in over there and play chess with him. And he was a demon chess player, actually. I never beat him even once, but it was good for my playing. Anyway, good for my chess playing. So anyway, and we were listening to stuff on their hi-fi set, mostly Bach and Mozart, Western classics. And one day he said, you know, we have classical music in India too. I said, no, I didn't know that. And he said, would you like to hear some? So I said, sure. And he put on Bismillah Khan's recording, and it carried me away. It was immediately apparent to me that this was very beautifully organized, very beautifully expressive music that I had no idea existed previously to that. And so I just sort of got into it. Started collecting LP records, which was all I could get at that time. There were no live performances in New York at that time that I was ever able to access. And well, you know, this was all before Woodstock, before Ravi Shankar. I think that Ali Akbar Saab had been to the States earlier, had done some tour. Maybe Ravi Shankar ji had as well. But they didn't have the fame that later came along, especially for Ravi Shankar ji. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I got into it, and on the basis of about 10 LP records, Vilayat Khan and Imrat Khan, I remember listening to their duo quite extensively. A little bit of some compilations of cuts. I did not even know in terms of who was a good Bansuri player that one could learn from. And I think on that compilation, I had one cut of Bansuri. The player wasn't even identified. I heard some Carnatic music, Balachander's Veena. I think Sharon Rani's Sarod I was listening to. But anyway, I became so immersed in it at a certain point in time, I felt like it would be worth my while to see if I could actually learn to play the music. So, I mean, and that was combined with me being young, unattached, interested in seeing the world. And so it all seemed to be something that would be fitting for me to do. And I went out for a Fulbright grant to study, and that grant came through. And so I took it. And then it was really very fortunate that, because as I say, I did not know really anything about the Bansuri as such. It made sense to me as a flutist already being a, Western trained flutist, to go for whatever equivalent there was in the way of flute, transverse flute. So I had not heard of Panalal Ghosh, as an example. Had no idea of his music. So the thing that was very fortunate was that the administrator of the Fulbright program at that time consulted, knowing that they had a flute player coming who needed flute lessons. She consulted with the then Director General of All India Radio, Dr. Narayana Menon, who would be a good person to send me to. So again, by good fortune and some intelligent research on their part, Dr. Menon recommended the person who became my guru, Devendra Murdeshwar, who was his staff artist and producer of music in the Delhi station of All India Radio. So that all made sense. And so they sent me to see Murdeshwar, and then
your journey began from there, huh? A very amazing fact that you can actually, on one hand, obviously you are a well-known flute player in the world of symphony and all of that, and then you picked up the bansuri, the Indian version of it, and you can go back and forth between both the music. So I think that's pretty amazing.
Using your fingers, they're not the same fingerings, but the coordination that you've built up through practice, and then the blowing part is very similar, whether it's a Western transverse flute or a bansuri. Yeah.
Now, I do want to go into one more aspect, which I know, but I want the audience to know that not only you went to India, you almost did a traditional gurukul, staying with your guru. You also make the instrument you do not buy them, you make the instrument. Tell us a little bit about that how did you pick up making the instrument on your own?
Well, again, my guru was a wonderful flute maker, and he made the instruments and he wouldn't take money for instruments. I mean, it was his principle to only give an instrument rather than sell it. But I thought I'd like to make some myself, and I found some bamboo stocks and tried my hand at it, and I've made a few. The one I'm playing, this is one he made. This is the.
It's not.
Well,
easy.
let's say I've been lucky that a couple of them have come out well. I'm not making great claims as a flute maker.
Well, just the fact that you do it, that itself is a great thing. Lion, I want to move to the last segment of before we moved into the concert. You have been in the Chicagoland, on the Western side, on the Western music, you are a big force, not only in Chicago, but in and around Chicago. You're doing a lot of good propagation of the Indian classical music. Tell us a little bit about your work in the Chicagoland area that you're doing around the Indian classical music and how you're...
Right. Well, about 7 years ago, some friends of mine and I had founded this group called the South Asian Classical Music Society of Chicago, which of course, you've played for us on a couple of occasions, and Manjari has sung for us also, and sent her students to play in our student programs. So, well, I'm very happy that we've been able to get this thing off the ground and keep it going. We've been putting on, I'd say, 4 to 6 programs a year now with pretty good consistency. And we've developed some good associations with different institutions and other organizations. And I think that and our connections with the teachers in this area and with local performers have been what has kept us afloat. So, and then we've had good donors also that have helped us. We've made a point of paying the artists' fees. We haven't been able to pay too much, but we've been able to pay people to perform. And even the students, we give student concerts, and Rachin Datta, one of our very strong supporters, has been supporting cash awards for every student who takes part. And so the kids, they don't get a ton of money for it, but they get some spending money that they can take home.
It's encouragement to them at the end of the day to play the music also. No, I think that because I do know and have played in South Asian Classical Music Society, but the fact that the kids are involved and you actually not only organize visiting artists but also local kids, I thought that was a great way of promoting the music amongst the kids or giving the kids a chance to perform. So, Lion, thank you very much. I mean, it's great knowing you as a friend, but also from a Bengali Association of Greater Chicago, I welcome you to perform tonight, and looking forward to your performance. And thank you for being with us today.
Well, I'm delighted to be able to do this and very happy to be representing the South Asian Classical Music Society too. So let's have a great concert.
Our next artist for tonight is Manjari Vaishampayan. Manjari is a very well-known name in the Chicagoland area, a good friend of mine. We have played a lot together. I would like to welcome Manjari to Bengali Association of Greater Chicago and in tonight's concert. So Manjari, there she is.
Namaskar, Shubhashish.
Namaskar, namaskar. Nice to see you. And I mean, first of all, as a part of Bengali Association, I want to welcome you and let you know that we are fortunate to have you for our tonight's concert.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's always a pleasure for us to meet and play, but sometimes it's also good to chat about, you know, about each other's journey in the music. So let me start with, so that, you know, I know, because I have been playing with you for long enough, but I want the audience to know about what actually attracted you to the Hindustani classical music. I mean, there's so many music in India, and growing up, you could have attracted to.
Well, being in Mumbai, Hindustani classical is what we have majorly. And being in the heart of Mumbai, which is Dadar, was really, I was very fortunate, because in Dadar, in one lane was Kishorita Yamonkar, other lane was Jasraj ji, and other lane was Baiji, Dhundutai Kulkarni. I was extremely lucky. Ratnakar Pai, name it, Yashwant Bua Joshi, all maestros lived there. So it was very lucky to get to hear wonderful maestros.
And you know, obviously, when you are trying to learn Hindustani classical music, it is known as a Guru Mukhi Vidya, which means, and I do not consider YouTube as a guru, by the way. So let me just make that clear.
I agree with you.
So without a guru, this music is almost impossible to learn. So tell us about your gurus and how you actually came in touch with them and how you learned from them.
As I said, I was extremely fortunate to get to listen and to be with extremely good top of the line maestros who dedicated their lives for music. It was not music was not their side business, as nowadays it happens. Music was their life. And what I learned from all my gurus, whether Vasantara Kulkarni or Dhundutai Kulkarni, music is a lifestyle. Mm-hmm. It's not just learning how to sing or play. It's how to think, how to live, what to eat, how to eat, where to sit, how to sit, how you bow down in front of God or maestros, and especially your own guru. And nobody teaches you in words. You learn it with your experiences. You have to be very attentive all the time. I was extremely fortunate that Baiji, being a single female who dedicated her life for music, never got married, so obviously had no family with her, I could live with her for a few years. And so sometimes, I mean, I cooked for her. I gave her massages if she was hurting on her, you know, she always had her feet hurt or back hurt or something. And I could do that. But the love that I always got from her, which normal people would not call it love, but you sense the love behind the whole thing. She would sometimes wake me up at 1:32 in the night. And she would say, Manjari, sing that palta that I taught you yesterday. Oh, and I have to be in the first attempt has to come out right. Otherwise, till 4 in the morning, I would be singing the palta. Yeah. And she would be there listening. I mean, she had nothing to do. She didn't have to sit there and wake me up and listen and make sure I was practicing right. But she would be there. That was the ocean of love, I think, that nobody would do that.
And I think there's a big difference that in India, from the difference between a teacher and a guru is not just somebody who's teaching you the skills, but also spiritually they're passing on a lot of things to you.
Yes, yes.
And hence the whole gurukul and being with a guru is so important.
I mean, every rag, as we know, every sur, as we know, it connects us with some deity because they're all gods. Mm-hmm. And she was like, oh, okay, your bhoop, the Gandhar is not coming out right in bhoop. Go ahead, sit there and sing the Ganapati Atharva Shirsha for 21 times. And I will see how that Gandhar doesn't come out right. And somehow it used to. I mean, maybe I was tired or it was really connecting to Ganeshji. Yeah. But the spiritual connection of music, and again, as I say, it's a lifestyle. You do not do anything wrong or you don't think anything other than music with gurus.
And they say having a guru is important, but having the right guru is also very important.
Extremely important, extremely. I mean, it's not just in music, in life, I would say.
Life, yeah.
Because your guru just changes your life, and if it's the right guru, that guru, even if she's here today or not on this earth or with me in US or not, she will always show me the right light. She will always give me the light in my life and the right to choose right from wrong.
And sometimes these principles are so deep rooted in spirituality. That's why the guru word is not same as a teacher. And I think in the classical music of India, whether north, south, this has been prevalent because music is so much so connected to the spirituality in India. And it's, for me, for you, for everyone who has been through a gurukul or stayed with the guru, lived with the guru, only can understand what it means to be with a guru and to learn from a guru. Manjari, I know you for a long time. I lived in Chicago for quite a long time, but you are an instrumental, if I may say, a guru in Indian classical music, and you're spending a lot of time in preparing kids. You have spent a whole lot of time in preparing your students, and tell us a little bit about your contribution to the music in the Chicagoland area and how you do this still.
I don't know if I have that level or I have reached that level or not, but yes, I can tell you what I do. I try to teach students, of course, along with the music, I try to teach them the lifestyle that I learned from my guru. So I do overnight camps, or just at a whole day camp, and definitely an overnight camp where you get to see all kinds of different things during the day that what happens. how you get up early and you practice the kharja, the mandra saptak. So the muscles, vocal muscles are doing the lower surs. Then how as the day passes, how you get ready, do some yoga, some pranayam. Again, you do the morning rag, then you do the afternoon rag. How you practice tan for a long time. It depends. I can't, these days, these kids cannot go many hours, one palta or one tan. But for them, I mean, I still appreciate these kids are so intelligent and they do feel the divinity and beauty in the sur and tal and Indian classical music. So they do practice and try very hard, even though they have no connection. They haven't heard it too much around.
Exactly.
Not like us. Even if we walk for in Dadar or Mumbai streets, even if we walk a little bit, like 5 blocks, you will hear wonderful music. Somebody's practicing at home, somebody's speaking. And this is all the sanskar, you know, this is all you're made out of. Your life is made out of that. But here, kids don't get that opportunity. But listening to other groups that they never get generally, so an elementary kids, how they sing, and intermediate kids, how they sing, and advanced kids, how they sing, and adults, how they sing and render, and how the performances are intricate and more advanced. They get to see and experience that, and they get so inspired. I'm so happy to see that the kids during the camp time, or whether it is a whole day camp or the weekend camp, kids get inspired. Next year I'm going to be in the camp, I'm going to be the next advanced group, you know. It's like I'm just so happy that we get to do that. And then they learn from the advanced kids, they learn that how before you start singing, you bow down in front of God, bow down in front of instrument. Everything is a replica or a form of Saraswati, the education, and how you respect everything. So they do learn that from the advanced kids, and they'll start doing that, and the new kids learn from them. So the whole cycle
Tradition continues. Yeah. Now I think these are some things that, of course, me being in this the music world, I really understand how much it takes to do this. It's not easy to be teach kids, to organize the camps, to actually get them into the music and let them know the details about the music. Not being in India is another challenge, but you do a great job. I know I've been seeing you for a long number of years that I've been following and playing with you and being in touch with you.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing that. And also thank you for being with us today. You know, from the Bengali Association of Greater Chicago, me being a part of it, I want to thank you and welcome you. And we look forward to the concert.
Thank you so much. My pleasure and honor to be rendering my performance for Bengali Association. Thank you for always playing with, we just have, I think now we know what do I say, the music language. We don't have to talk anything so much clearly in the performance, and we just know each other's styles and everything. That's another beauty of Indian classical music, that you have somebody accompanying you for many years. That way, the accompanists, whether it is harmonium or sarangi or tabla, they know you as a person. They know your variations, what you would be, what your thought process is. And the game on stage that you and I have always done. So much fun.
It's a lot of having fun in the moment rather than, you know, practicing. That's one of the big, I would say, advantage of playing classical music, is that you don't have to look for fun. You just get together and you can have fun. That's it.
Honestly. Namaskar. I am Manjari Vaishampayan, and I will be presenting Rag Multani, a Madhyalay in 3 tal, Manata Nahi Jiyara Mora, and a Drud in 1 tal, Nainana mein Aane Wala. Amit Vaishampayan will be accompanying me on harmonium, and Shubhashish Mukherjee will be accompanying me on tabla. Raag Multani. Manadana
No, thank you. I would call Lion also to join because I think it will be good to just talk to both of you about one of the point that I have. It's a very controversial point, but it's about music in today's world. And there's Lion, and I'll start the conversation, and maybe you two guys can share your thoughts on it. There's been lots said about the classical music of India taking a 90-degree turn now. Nobody knows whether it's good. It may be a new way of the music coming up, but there are lots of talented musicians. There are lots of talented kids now, but they are approaching the music in a very different way than we or our predecessors have approached it until now. Whether you call it mixing the music with other types of music, which is called fusion music, or actually applying music in a lighter form in a more popular music world, like Bollywood uses a lot of that today. And the third thing that is also emerging more and more is around people trying to go to stage much earlier and quicker than they should be. So I would just have that topic thrown out and just have your perspective as to what do you feel and what do you think about that. I'll go with Manjari and then with Lion.
Okay, thank you. I mean, these questions that you have are not small. They are very, very intricate. And to talk just like that is quite something. But definitely, what my thoughts about the first thing that you said is the fusion. Well, so far as the fusion, what quality or what kind of fusion is very important. When the Indian classical system, the music or vocal, I would say, from the beginning, was Drupad Dhamar Gaiki. There was no Khyal Gaiki. It was Drupad Dhamar, where you go, the praises of the Lord Shiva or Vishnu or Mataji. We would sing the praises in different speeds and do with the Pakhavaj. After about 400-500 years after the Mughal rule, the whole Indian Hindustani classical music turned into Khyal Gaiki when Tansen, Sadarang, Adarang did all these changes. I think that time this same question must have arisen, but everything went smooth so far as people stuck to the rules and limits of the rag and took some freedom of doing alaps and tans instead of going multiples of Drupad Dhamar. So I would say again, maybe now after 700-800 years now, maybe whatever, this is the need of the Kalachi Garaz, we say in Marathi,
Right.
Time, the need of the time. So since everything is getting globalized, I think if this fusion is done, I don't do any such things, but I'm thinking and thinking out loud is, so far as the mixing is done wisely and not taken too much liberty of breaking the rules, there is a Vivadi Sur, Vadi, Samvadi and Vivadi. Everything in moderate or proper quantity. So if those things are taken into consideration, some fusion can be audible and good.
Because there is another theory that if we do not adapt classical music to the modern time, it will die. It's better not to have the classical music die, but adapt it. And over the period of time, music have adapted to the needs of the time, right?
Exactly.
Lion, what is your view on that? You are from the other side of the house. You have been in the Western music arena a lot, and classical music. And you are seeing this also pretty closely on the Indian music front also. What is your view on that?
I certainly agree with Manjari that it's a complicated question. And I think if one wants to do some fusing, one should know the things one is fusing, rather than just do it without study. So, if I think in terms of fusion, well, I wrote a piece for flute and harp where the melodic content is all bihag and kafi. And at the same time, I felt like if I'm going to perform this with a harpist who's a Western musician and for listeners who are mostly Western listeners, there has to be something in it for them too. So it's not just all new. So I tried to find ways to subtly add a little bit of harmony, add a little bit of counterpoint in ways that weren't too disruptive of the sensibility of the raga. But there's always a cost too. You could say Manjari's point was interesting about Khyal evolving from the Drupad. So, some of that seriousness and sobriety of the Drupad probably gets lost in the imagination and floridity of Khyal, but then a new thing emerges too. So some of it's when we're thinking purely in raga terms, we want the bhava and the rasa to be very elevated, and it's very difficult because if you're going to introduce harmony, there's going to be vivadi. And so how do you do that gracefully? That's a real problem, I think. Yeah. If you're aware of those higher elements in the music, in Hindustani music, and you're trying to preserve them in some sensibility, some sense, and project them to an audience that may or may not be familiar with them, and yet put in some stuff that will give them a handle by which they can listen and feel like they're hearing something they can understand. That's really tricky. And, you know, who can say, I thought Manjri made another good point in terms of globalizing is what's causing this, that, you know, you can't grow up in India without hearing Western pops and all kinds. And there's a lot of jazz, there's a lot of great jazz being made, and you're going to hear it somewhere or other, and it'll have an influence on you.
Well, thank you very much to both of you for your viewpoints. In this world, we all will know nothing is absolute. Everything is relative. Something is needed from one perspective. Something may not be needed from the same thing. May not be needed from other perspectives. So we'll see where this goes. But thanks to both of you. And talking about fusion, this is just for our audience to let them know that BAGC is organizing a concert coming up soon of Kaushiki Chakravarti and Bikram Ghosh. That's going to be, you know, it will be an interesting concert to watch, because I'm sure you will get to watch not only traditional music, but some fusion music that we have been talking about just now. So please make sure that you follow the BAGC Facebook page to find out more details about the timing and the venue and the dates and all of that. Mostly it'll be virtual, so it'll be, the venue will be either one of the virtual platforms. So with that, I think we'll end this session, and we'll move out into music. Thank you very much, both of you.
Thank you, Subhashish.
Thank you, and namaskar.
Namaskar. Thank you for being with us today. Before we move on to the last part of our program, I just want to thank all of you once again, and also would request you to subscribe to the BAGC's YouTube live channel. That way you can tune into our future programs, and we can also bring more variety of programs to your home in this difficult times that we're going through. Again, thank you, and we'll move on to the last part of our concert.
you.